Yes, it's tragic. As a matter of fact, we're trying to get the exact number. My FEMA advisor is on the ground in Florida right now. There's a distinction between the numbers that FEMA's used and the ones that are used by the locals. So it really is amazing. You saw the photographs. It's stunning.
It's unbelievable.
It really is.
Such a wide area.
And we've given them all everything that we have. We're on the ground ahead of time, so we're working hard.
Are there any more resources the federal government could be giving them?
No, we've given them. We have pre-planned a significant amount of it, even though they didn't ask for it. Hadn't asked for it.
I've read Marx. I've read Engels. I've read Das Kapital.
The world is run by Trotskyists.
Hardcore Trotskyists.
How great an anti-American Marxist!
They're controlled by Trotskyists, as you put it, and these are the most evil, sick human beings on the face of the planet.
There you go. Are there any more resources the federal government could be giving them? No.
No, that's it. That's really no more, huh?
No, we haven't spent any money over the last year.
So they tried nothing and they're all out of ideas.
All right.
I heard Israel just got $8.8 billion last week, but hey, that's fine. Genocide ain't free.
Yeah. Anyway, so on that note, you're listening to the Left Opposition podcast with myself, Chris, Doug, and Joe. I hope everyone's doing okay. This is another normal week in American capitalism.
Yes, it
the belly
is.
of the beast. Never fails to disappoint. We on the program today, we are talking about the hurricane and the damage and the aftermath in its wake, and the colossal moronic response by the federal government. And we have a little bit to talk about with the longshore workers. Now, we were going to talk. Yeah, there's definitely some interesting meat and potatoes there we can dive into, but apparently it's over. So, spoiler alert.
Temporarily. It's a tentative agreement.
Well,
right? Yep.
That's true. Yeah. We'll get into that. And we're going to round out the program tonight with a little bit of fun dunking on Jackson Hinkle, because, we do try. I'm trying my best not to just avoid talking about these clowns, because they're really not worth our time. But every once in a while, one of them does something so spectacularly incredible that we have to cover it.
Yeah. Can I just say right up front, Biden's so fucking old, dude. Like he looks rough, and he said photograph. Like this man is such a relic. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he was still trying to run? Like, holy God, he looks like he's going to be dead in 3 minutes. Like this was like after this, and then they put like R.I.P. Joe Biden.
I'm surprised he's actually going to places. Wouldn't he just run out the clock and crap?
Shit. Like you didn't see George W. Bush making a lot of things at the last couple of days of his life or presidency. Like,
speaking of old, Jimmy Carter just celebrated his 100th year.
He made it. Damn.
Technically alive.
Wow, that's disappointing.
I don't know if you guys saw the footage of him getting wheeled around. It looked like they're wheeling around a dead person.
Yeah.
Just to say he made it to 100, but like there's no way that dude is alive in any meaningful way.
He looks better than Biden. I was going to say he has more pep in his step than Biden does in that video we just saw.
He can technically run. He only served one term.
That's right. Put Jimmy Carter on the ballot. All right, there we go. Good God, he has more of a clue what's going on.
Side note, he has like an undeserved reputation as like this good person. When he was president, he was aiding like all these Latin American dictatorships, the Iranian Shah. And he's the one who started like funding like these, anti-Soviet terrorists in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Also, he kind of like was the one who started pretty much Reaganism.
Yep. Like, the deregulation of the trucking industry, which is against labor.
All that kind of stuff. And, maybe he's a nice person if you're like going out to dinner or something, but he's an imperialist scumbag just like the rest
builds
of them.
houses.
Yeah, he does. If that's all he did for becoming president, that would have been probably fine. He just would have been, a guy that built some houses, and that'd be the end of it. But he's probably
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these guys are like haunted after their careers. He's probably like, I gotta get some karma back.
I don't know if, like, a lot of them write their boring memoirs that no one reads.
Well, Obama had that like $100 million like Netflix deal. He's fine. He sleeps perfectly soundly at night.
And
on
like as
on
a historian,
mattress
I'll
made of
tell
money.
you, like presidential memoirs are, with a few exceptions, we're told not to, like they're the worst sources to use.
Yeah.
Really?
It's just, it's just pampered bullshit. I'm guessing it's nothing.
I think the big exception is Ulysses S. Grant, whose like memoirs are like a literary classic.
Oh yeah.
But otherwise, most of them I wouldn't read.
Yeah, Grant didn't do too well after the war, or he didn't. His
Nah,
presidency
he went bankrupt. Although his memoirs sold so well that they helped his wife. Like he finished them just before he died.
That's right.
And he got a lot of money from it, that his wife was able to use to live comfortably in her last year. So that was kind of nice, actually.
All right. If you defeat the Confederacy, we give you a pass. Okay. If you will do that, anytime you take down a bunch of slavers, we'll give you a mulligan for a few mistakes you might have made along the way, but that's it. All right. That's all right. Looking at you, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
But all right. So speaking of disasters.
Yes. Top story this week, domestically. I know we've talked about Israel a lot lately, and there's lots of stuff going on there, but lots of disasters happening at home in the belly of the imperialist beast is Hurricane Helene.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
I think it is Helene.
Helene? Okay.
I think that's what I was hearing. Yeah.
Or Helen, as they call them in Russia. Great Trump quote. It wreaked havoc along in Appalachia, in North Carolina, Florida, Tennessee. Communities are devastated across the board. It's the second deadliest one after Hurricane Katrina, which we all remember. That was under a Republican president, President Bush. Black people were looting. Remember, they were called looters, while white people were doing the exact same thing. They're called, scavengers or whatever.
Scavengers or survivors or
like
something.
That.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, here's one person. This is Rafi on Twitter talking about their personal experience. Does anyone have a plane or helicopter that they'd be willing to help my wife and I get home in? We are trapped in Black Mountain, no food or water, and we have a medically complex handicapped son who requires round-the-clock care, medication, and a ventilator. Update. Earlier today, my wife and I sat in the Black Mountain Ingalls parking lot from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Ingalls refused to, I'm guessing that's a grocery chain.
That's a store, I think. Yeah.
They refuse to open or sell anything to anyone, even turning away families with small children and babies. Families begging to purchase diapers and formula were turned away and told, we don't have anything. And when they can clearly see through the front windows, that was a lie. We were then told to go home because there's a curfew beginning at 7 p.m. and cops began to barricade the front door with their vehicles. And so here's some photos of that. So here you got three
North Carolina's finest. There we are.
Three heroic cops guarding the front door here in this parking lot, and it's this parking lot clearly had some water damage. People, just desperate people, just trying. They're not even looting, they're trying to just buy shit, and they're being prevented. This is capitalism at its absolute finest. Whenever there's a disaster, this is the first thing they do is they lock down the grocery stores, because cops' job is not to protect and serve their communities, is to protect and serve capital. And I've seen pictures of dumpsters outside Walmarts during this disaster and in similar areas. Dumpsters are full of food and they are locked away.
They'd rather let it rot.
Yeah. So I know they do that with when they throw stuff out because they can't sell it or whatever. What is happening with, why are they not even letting people in to buy stuff? What does that accomplish?
My only guess is the power outage prevents the credit card and debit machines from working.
When I worked at a grocery store, if the power went out, it was procedure to get everyone out of the store as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
We would
ring up a cash, right? Even
we would still
let
them buy stuff, but we'd have to copy down the credit card numbers or something. That's probably what they're doing. At least that's my best guess.
Right. Also, I mean, they're insured. The federal government can reimburse them. This should always be there should always have a plan B, like FEMA. Maybe they make a government agency called FEMA, and FEMA would be like, hey, just write it down. We'll pay you back. It's fine. People need formula, medication.
Hey, I have a crazy idea.
To live.
I have a crazy idea for that agency. We could fund it. We could,
Hey,
we could have it, and we could also put
Congress
money in it.
didn't feel like funding that either. Yeah, I do got a piece on that too. But Aaron has something I see on the screen. I was going to talk about this, but play the video if you want to play the video.
Okay, let's try this.
Play the video because I got some piece about this.
At least 6 impact factory workers have lost their lives and more are missing after they were allegedly told that they would be fired if they left work during the hurricane.
Why'd you make us work that day? Why? We shouldn't have worked. We shouldn't have been there. None of us should have been there.
Family members say that their loved ones never got word that they were allowed to leave and that they were told that the management was monitoring the situation. Some of the workers' relatives got frantic video phone calls as the flood swelled around impact plastics. Some employees were able to leave the industrial park using a truck owned by a neighboring company driven by a driver employed by that company. But due to the quickly rising water, the truck tipped over and 5 employees and a contractor aboard the truck went missing. They are now being counted among the deceased. 5 others who were also on the truck when it tipped over made it to safety and were later evacuated. A National Guard helicopter was subsequently dispatched to rescue those 5 employees, and they were airlifted to safety. Another set of employees had to depart by the CSX railroad track behind the facility due to high waters at the front door. Those employees were able to make it to an adjacent company where they were able to find safety.
Yeah.
Wow. So nice country. Good job, dipshits.
Right.
This is the priority at all costs is grind.
Keep
and
working.
Make profit for
Keep
the boss.
working.
Keep working.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
This reminds me of how many workers were killed in a tornado not too long ago? Was it last year? At an Amazon warehouse?
It was an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is life under capitalism in the United States. Like this,
and these are non-union workers too. Like because they know, like, if now I have a union. If I know OSHA law, so like we both have OSHA in this country. Union, non-union, OSHA applies to them. There's a tornado warning, which did happen this year. Luckily, we have like our managers a bit sane and a union. So like as soon as we got the warning on our phones, everybody drove back into the place. Now, say you're non-union and the boss says, get back out there, you're fine, or keep working during the flood. Say he goes, all right, Chris, you're fired, and non-union guy, you're fired. Now, in order for me to get my job back, I can just file a grievance with my steward the next day, and then I can go through a pretty quick process, and I will get my job back plus back pay, and it costs me nothing because it's part of the grievance procedure. A non-union worker will have to go ahead. Oh, I got fired. Well, let's see. I have no money coming in now. Let me go hire my own lawyer, spend time trying to find a lawyer, take up my case, then get him to file charges, then go to the court, which a court will take 6 months if you're lucky to get a court case going, just to try to get reinstated, and it'll cost you thousands of dollars to get your job back.
Yeah.
That is how difficult it is without a union. That's
God,
why
God help you if you work in a right to work state as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
so that's the whole thing. You in a union, you have rights and you can enforce law. We both have the same law. It's just very easy for me. Mine would probably be, I get my job back in a week with back pay. It would be that quick. And that's long to make me wait a week to get it for something that stupid. But these people in a right to work state, anti-union, Republican, one party state, where I think the candidate for governor, Mark, was it? I already forgot his name. Mark Robinson. Oh. Jesus Christ. I mean, that psycho's going to might be running the state. Well, he's not. He's going to lose. But so another thing I want to share too is that right now, this is Impact Plastics did not notify Tasha, which is their version of OSHA, I think, down there, of workers' death. So this little piece I have found. After learning 4 employee fatalities at Impact Plastics when floodwaters took over the Irwin, Tennessee on Friday, the Tennessee Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or TSHA, launched an investigation of the company. Since then, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, or the TBI, has launched its own inquiry into the circumstances leading to the deaths, which supersedes the TSHA investigation. As of Wednesday night, TSHA's Chief Communications Officer Chris Cannon said that Impact Plastics had yet to notify them of the employees' deaths. Tennessee law allows the employer 8 hours to notify TSHA of workplace fatalities. He said TSHA has not received a fatality report from managers at Impact Plastics. TSHA and TBI are continuing their joint investigation into what occurred between management and the employees inside the plastics. Tasha will survey the location and go through the whole process. So that's the thing right there. They're supposed to notify when someone dies. They haven't even done the minimum of notifying a death. And what that guy who was speaking out, I read a lot about him. He was the one saying management said, get back to work or else. Like that was, and not everyone got the memo. Some people were, now a bunch of the people, English wasn't their first language. So no one told the people who don't speak English, even though, oh, by the way, you can leave now. No one told them. And now 6 people are dead because of it. There's 2 other people unaccounted for as well who are presumed dead. But this is what the company did. Get back to work. Whatever. And even the CEO had to move his car 2 times already to make sure it didn't get flooded away. Like these are the people who like I said, it's all about money to them. And they made their money that day and everything. And they're probably, and all the insurance will probably cover them, or the government's going to bail them out. So they're going to be 5 and 6 workers are dead. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah. What else? But it's fine though, Chris, because Kamala's on the case.
Right.
Biden was wearing a jacket 3 sizes too big.
Well, I mean, could you imagine if Trump were in office, how much worse this could be? All right. So I want the Democrats. They criticized Bush incorrectly for his lack of response during Katrina. All right, Vice President Harris, let's hear what you're going to do for us. All right, I'm ready.
The federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
There you go. $750.
That's it.
It's insane. It's like the Maui shit.
Solve everything. It's okay.
Like what is that? Like you can't even get a generator for that much.
You just filmed your house floating away.
Yeah.
But I just want to remind people like these are towns in mountain regions that are flooded and are now like Asheville is completely cut off. There is no road or bridge to get in and out of that town. And there was no cell service for days. Family members could not get a hold of each other. And they're not even allowed to buy stuff because like the stores are all closed and chained up and all the baby formula is locked in a fucking Brinks truck or whatever, Yeah. It's insane. Like this is not supposed to happen in these regions. So why would anyone have flood insurance if you're living in the fucking mountains? I just cannot emphasize how fucking crazy this is. And so here comes the federal government after delivering $8 billion to Israel this week or last week or whatever. It's been on average like $8 billion.
It was Thursday. Thursday is when they announced it. Yep, Thursday.
And then
and also they underfunded FEMA that same time too. They actually cut billions from the FEMA budget.
It was the same. It's a similar number, a similar amount of money, which is funny.
And so they can go bomb Lebanon. We got $7 billion to go.
I'm sure it's a complete coincidence. Don't worry. Ukraine's also getting their piece of the pie as well. So billions for Ukraine, billions for Israel.
When was this cut done? Was it under Trump or was this recent?
This was recent. The House and Senate left for a 6-week pre-election. This is it. They left last Wednesday. That's what they did. They left for the recess. And they passed a government funding extension that cut billions of dollars in supplemental disaster funding requested by FEMA. That was last Wednesday. That's when they did it. And at the same point too, they gave $8.7 billion to Israel, right, so they can go ahead and expand the war to fucking Lebanon too. Also, and this is another report I was reading. In Greene County, Tennessee, there is no timeline for restoration of water to customers in 5 utility districts served by the Water Commission. The country's intake structure was destroyed when the river froze by 2 feet per hour during the storm, according to the TVA. So there's no more water they can't get water now. There's no way to get water to those people in Tennessee. And this was a category 4 hurricane. 4. Jesus. Like Katrina was a 4, I believe. It was I mean, 5 is the end of Jesus Christ. Like they're going to embed 6.
I do just want to point out that that tweet we were just looking at was from Benny Johnson, who's a fucking right-wing commentator,
right?
Being like,
oh, really?
Why isn't the federal government giving more money? Like,
right? They only suddenly they care. Yeah,
I don't know. I can't keep track of these ghouls in the country because there's so fucking many of them. Anyway, so $750. So what's that going to get you? I don't know how far that's going to go when stores are selling
price gouging for. I heard $45 for a case of water.
42 $42.96 for a case of Dasani water on sale. Here's a case of Smart Water. So this is 12. So here's a 12 pack of Smart Water for $29.98 a pack.
Okay. After the revolution, these people will be. I want names. I want the person. I want the photo of his face. After the revolution, we're going to remember these people. That's all.
This is like part of the reason in the Soviet Russia why they had like the Cheka was it was meant to stop like speculation and this kind of stuff.
Right.
And don't you all remember during COVID when like prices of certain goods like skyrocketed?
Hand sanitizer and shit.
And you like the way I heard people, it's like, people who, were normally like very like conservative or moderate, and they sounded like they wanted like some kind of Cheka almost to deal with these.
He was kind of nice. I know. Finally, some people.
And it's the
finally
same
get it.
thing with this.
Yeah,
that's outrageous, but that's the free market at work. They just have to wheeze out a little more.
I saw a tweet from I forget which Libertarian Party. It was either New Hampshire or the other one that pops up.
It's always New Hampshire saying the craziest shit. It's all they're the ones that want to bring back child labor.
Okay, yeah, it's probably
they're all the penis lovers. Yeah.
They were saying like price gouging is actually good. It cuts down on hoarding. I was like, price gouging is hoarding. That's the hoarder right there with the fucking water, asshole. What are you talking about?
Boston columnist for the Globe. He's written like op-eds like in favor of like, price gouging, which is Jeff Jacoby. I don't know if you've ever know who he is, Chris.
No. That name I've seen it up before.
He's like the conservative like op-ed guy in the Globe. He's a real scumbag.
Oh well, no shit. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're running for the Globe, it's not like you're Karl Marx. I know I'm not. The bar's low, but I think I've seen that douchebag's name up a few times.
I think as far left as they go is Kamala Harris, and that's like not saying anything because that's not left at all.
Oh my God. Another thing too. Worth pointing out is the economy is going to be hurt a lot because this is another thing. I want to give credit when credit is due. WSWS.org, the Socialist Equality Party. You did a good article on this. I think your views on union make me want to vomit, and I will never forgive you for them, but you did a good one on the North Carolina. So let me just cite a few things. WSWS.org. So the collapse of water service, because water's, I don't know if you know, but water's important for, living, but also for the economy too. So the collapse of the water service for Asheville and the destruction of the city's River Arts District brought a halt to the $1 billion craft brew industry, which has been developed in the region since the 1990s because of the protected watersheds that supply the city's water. The Asheville Brewers Alliance estimates that 4,000 jobs rely on beer making in the city. So those are going to be 4,000 people without a job right now. In North Carolina, the I-40 suffered catastrophic failure when the flood-swollen waters of the Pigeon River Gorge undercut and washed out the established lanes of interstate. And someone made this tweet, "We're in for the literal long haul because the North Carolina Department of Transportation now says I-40 is going to be closed for, quote, months between Tennessee and North Carolina. The typical detour, the I-26, was also washed away. So there's no longer any interstate access between our states. Two major highways connecting those states, and everyone's jobs and livelihoods are now off because of it. The impact on shipping and mail service due to infrastructure damage is not fully known. The United States Post Office in Asheville suspended retail and delivery operation until further notice. For example, when Vermont had floods, we were up there. The post office in Montpelier, the state capital there, has been out of service for over a year because the river overflowed and destroyed it so badly and damaged it that bad. And it's been a year since they've been using temporary trailers. I was thinking of maybe moving there and stuff, but not a great place to work because there is no post office that functions there. And also the money, and then also nothing too. And the final thing, the money which Congress that denied FEMA stalls thousands of projects by states to rebuild infrastructure damaged by disasters in the past decade or longer ago, according to a report by Political, when similar shortfall occurred after Hurricane Idalia. That's why Vermont, which had that overflow of the river, it happened 3 years ago, and then it happened a year ago. Two really bad, with a major river in that area just overflowed twice. They're not going to vote to like repair the infrastructure. They put a Band-Aid over everything just to temporarily get it going, but this is going to keep happening. Climate change is real. And I feel weird that I have to say this to some people in this country, like 25 to 30% of the people who don't think it's real. This is going to get worse. This is going to get worse every year. A category 4 wiped out a mountain area. Like Aaron said, no one has flood insurance for a river, like, because this doesn't happen ever.
Yeah,
the river in Vermont happened 140 years ago. Now that's happening two times in 4 years, you know?
Yeah. It went super far inland too, right? Like
Yeah, right. The mountains.
Very unusual.
It hit the mountains.
Yeah,
like,
it's the same reason a lot of home insurance, especially on the West Coast, they've stopped giving out like fire insurance policies because they don't want to pay them.
California, shit, because they're gonna lose their shirt.
Florida with flooding.
They're like, well, we can't
hurricane insurance.
We can't do the thing that people pay us money for. That's crazy.
No.
Anyway,
how are you going to turn a profit, or they're going to jack up the rates by like 95%? So that's the other.
It's nuts. Like supposedly we're all told like the greatest country in the world, freest, that has the most wealth, and this is happening right now.
Yeah.
Is like the like the money, everything there is available to fix it.
Yeah,
but because of capitalism, it just won't happen.
Right.
Like
we have to go and spend it on bombs,
like the military aiding genocidal regimes in the Middle East, or a proxy war with Nazis in Ukraine.
Right. It's fucking insane. So yeah, and also 200 people are dead, and more people are probably going to be dead by more people, because I mean there was one case that I think that guy said that that person's son. Now, I used to work in people with developmental disabilities and physical disabilities. Some people need constant ventilators going on them. Hospitals need ventilators. People need surgery, and like hospitals are flooding. This is the same shit we keep going through over and over, yet nothing is changing.
Yep.
And then Congress votes to cut the funding a week before. Like, this is how inept the Democrats and Republicans are. It's insane.
They literally took the money from FEMA and put it in Israel, right? It was $9 billion.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Those prepper guys, they just spend all day like jerking each other off over like, societal collapse fantasies, and they have like 30 AR-15s in their house, and like no first aid kit, no first aid training, nothing. It's just hoarding firearms. It's like, okay, now what are you gonna do? This is what society.
You're gonna shoot the water.
This is what your societal collapse looks like. Well,
congrats.
There's this petty bourgeois individualist mindset that has convinced a large portion of the population no one is coming to save you. You are on your own. You cannot rely on anyone else. And this is like such a pessimistic outlook of like, well, then if that's the case, then like, why aren't you organizing with your community then? Because part of that is right. There are in like right wing Alberta, Canada, there are whole communities where police and fire and ambulance, they're like minutes, hours away, like 20 minutes away at best. And so there are actual communities being formed like by local workers who answer like distress calls and stuff, and they can get there much faster, and they know their own community, and they're going to fight harder for each other, right? Yeah. So-called right-wing Alberta, again, same thing with people in like Appalachia. Some of the greatest labor struggles in the history of your country have occurred in Appalachia. You don't have to tell these people that capitalism is failing, right? Because so many of us think that climate change isn't going to affect us until you're the one filming your own house floating away.
I know. All right. I know we went over on time on this, but anything else, North? Because I think, that's just it. I think everything plus one and everything Aaron said too. It's just, but people, what the good thing is, which is hard to say anything good, but people do come together for disaster to help each other. That is one thing that always has happened, that people, working class people, farmers, they will help each other out in these times of need. That is the good thing about humans. We are inherently all good when disaster strikes. That's one thing that's always going to be true. So hopefully, the people, because we can't rely on was it Tennessee sent a lot of 1,000 soldiers to Israel to go, to make sure there's
the Tennessee National Guard has been deployed to Israel.
Good thing I wish I was making
this up.
Right. Just like during Katrina, the Louisiana National Guard was in Iraq. Like, we're throwing out the National Guard.
Sorry, which nation is that supposed to refer to, that national part of your name?
Right. The whole point of the National Guard is for them to be in the state they're in for the shit like this. Right. So way to go, America. You did it good. Way to go, President Brendan, who I forgot is still president. Good.
Oh, yeah. He's still technically president, even though he's like.
Right. I know. I kind of
medically dead.
I think I consider Netanyahu our president now.
True. President Bibi is calling the shots now.
And another quick note I want to add. Now, I do have my philosophical and organizational criticisms and differences with anarchist philosophies, but this is one case where mutual aid in times of disaster is 100%.
Oh yeah,
it's so vital.
Absolutely.
And it's such a different form of mutual aid that will actually save people's lives, and so much different than what the kind of mutual aid that a lot of anarchists peddle that just annoys the shit out of me is when they have like a GoFundMe to help me build a cabin in like a forest somewhere. It's like a self-sustaining farm somewhere.
Aaron, can you please donate to my cabin? All right, my cabin is gonna work. It's really cool and it's deep in the woods, but I'll achieve socialism out there.
It's all caps. It just says mutual aid request. Donate to help me build my like. What the hell is that, man? Like,
I use bolded font. All right, I'm trying to yell to you. Donate to my goddamn cabin. God. I'm an anarchist now. I'm wearing black today. All right.
Now, that being said, I am almost certain. I'm sure there are anarchist groups on the ground helping with recovery, relief, and efforts. And if there are, I don't know. I haven't seen any, but if there are, 100%.
There are. I'll see if I can find them. I think I posted about them.
See if there's something we can donate to.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd be 100% in favor of supporting that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I would. Like I said, anarchists are good. Like, this is when mutual aid isn't, mutual aid during a strike, mutual aid during a disaster. I mean, that's cool.
Like the Black Panthers, they were like Maoists, but they understood that.
Right. Because they weren't getting served, so they served them. That's the whole thing. You shouldn't be demanding.
Yeah, and
government does its fucking job.
That was mass that was organizing on a larger scale. It wasn't individual like dipshits asking you to donate to their fucking garden. Anyway,
gardening.
So if you're wondering, since there's no money, since the country's apparently broke, where is the money going? Moving on.
War.
The war between Israel and as they bomb the living shit out of their neighbors. I believe they bombed 4 different countries or 4 different nations this week. They bombed Palestine, Yemen, Syria, and Lebanon.
Yeah, I know. Try to keep track. We got to write these down. Yep.
I think following the pager attack and the carpet bombing, they killed the leader Nasrallah. I don't know what is there like a Marxist opinion of this guy? Was he based? Was he cool? Or like, I don't know, is he just part of that, like, was he fighting for like a caliphate or something? Or I don't know, like, is he an ally? Was he an ally of the working class is really my question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot about this area. I mean, I know that a lot of the in a lot of cases, the leftist elements were pushed out long ago by the U.S. or Israel or the UK or whatever it was.
Right.
So,
and Iran is not a friend of communism, really. Yeah. It's like, but I mean, I don't think he's a friend of, the working. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I don't know much about him. It's mostly, I think, a religious kind of sect organization.
I think maybe at this point it doesn't. That's not really the question. I guess we should be asking.
On the one hand, like, he was fighting Israel,
right?
But on the other hand, I believe he was part of the Lebanese government, which like did institute austerity measures back in 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and Hezbollah is like, it has this political Islamist program. There was, at least in the 70s and 80s, a fairly strong Lebanese Communist Party. And, they were trying to navigate when they had the Civil War and everything, which, had a lot of these sectarian divisions, religious divisions, along with, Israel being in there and everything. So it's like, I think it's progressive in the extent of fighting Israel, but I don't think they actually have a super great program. And I would say the same thing about Iran. Iran is not anti-imperialist. They just happen to be antagonistic to Israel. They don't have a revolutionary government, and they're not going to spread socialism or anything like that.
Yeah. And Iran does not seem to be interested in escalating this conflict either. Their strike backs have always been sort of symbolic and very strategic in a way. Like,
it has been surprising.
I mean, to be fair, unlike Israel, Iran goes out of their way not to hit civilian targets. Right? They actually hit military targets, and they themselves admitted, we know where the Mossad headquarters are, but they're all surrounded by civilians, so obviously we can't strike it. It's like, really, that's interesting. So Iran cares
more about rules of warfare than Israel does.
Right.
Israel just goes ahead and carpet bombs whole neighborhoods and drops an apartment on your fucking head.
Yeah, they've killed 2,000 people in Lebanon.
And then people wonder why, like, well, why can't we just sue for peace? Why can't we just sit down at the table and negotiate? It's like, yeah, because they kill every fucking person that comes forward.
They kill the negotiators. Like, Israel killed the Hamas negotiator in Tehran. Like, he was going to end the war, and they killed him. Like, he's not the only, like, they keep killing the negotiators.
Yeah.
They want a war. They want an all-out war. Like, and now I think also one of those the missile strikes that happened this week, there was a lot of them, but I believe Israel lost over half of its fleet of F-35 jets. They blew them up.
They
hit military targets.
I think that's unconfirmed. I don't think I've seen any Western outlet report that.
I did see some.
Israel's also been.
I've heard that too, but it's mostly just been like Twitter feed stuff. I haven't seen
they've also
reports.
Israel's also been massively censoring any damage reports coming out of the country.
Right.
So it's hard to get any solid data on that. For some reason, I don't know why they do that.
Times of Israel kind of confirm all they did hit the airfield. They haven't confirmed. Now, what they did hit, obviously, they're probably not going to say right away. But there is damage there. But, we'll see because
that's right.
I don't trust anything they say.
Times of Israel says the exact locations of such impacts and damage are barred from publication by the IDF censor.
Right. Like I said, I don't believe a goddamn thing that, the IDF says. But at least we know they hit the base. What it did, that's up for debate, but there was a hit. So, and I think in response, Israel today bombed the only Russian base in Syria, because those I believe were hypersonic missiles that Russia made. So, like I said, this could escalate. If that was, so they hit a Russian base, Russia could respond. Russia could send more missiles. Like,
Israel hit a Russian base?
Yeah, today in Syria.
Shit.
So
I thought they were on pretty good terms with Russia.
They were, but like I said, I believe the missiles that were sent over were the hypersonic, because that was in retaliation for the United States letting Ukraine try to shoot missiles deep into Russia. So Russia said, "Oh, you're gonna do that to us? So we'll give Iran a bunch of hypersonic missiles that go at like Mach 25. You can't stop those. So we're gonna send those to Iran, and then Iran shot those over. That's why they couldn't intercept the Iron Dome didn't work.
Yeah,
and that's why. You can just see this is just escalating.
Iran said we don't want to do more, but like the next time is going to be a lot worse if you fucking keep doing this to us. But yeah,
it's not they're gonna lose face. Like if you just if a bully keeps punching you in the face and you're not doing anything back, well, these
hypersonic things are nuts. Like I heard that it was like it took 10 minutes to get from fucking Tehran to Tel Aviv. Like how far is that? That's insane.
1,400 kilometers, I believe.
Huge.
Yeah, like I said, between Mach 12 and Mach 20, like some stupid amount of thing. I know friend of the show, Devin, could probably he does all the statistics and numbers and stuff. But yeah, he was talking about it last time we saw him. But yeah. So,
it's from Tehran to Tel Aviv. It's 1,900 kilometers. I don't know how much that is in miles, but that's how long it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw some clips of some Israelis on the local media crying about having to hide in their bunkers for 15 minutes during the attack.
Oh, that's ironic. Wow. They don't like bombs raining down on them.
That must have been scary. But
must have been terrifying for them.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it like? And they're all fleeing as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Too.
And my question would be like, oh, what was it like to find the only remnants of your daughter is like a charred foot inside of a sneaker?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It wasn't. Different spin on the book that was put out by the actress who's on The Big Bang Theory, Mayim. What was her name?
Oh God,
Mayim
Bellick. She wrote
Under
the Rockets Glow, which is like about like all like the bombings, but it's like some like just like a child's book in favor of genocide, and now it's like now that you got the rockets coming down on you, I wonder how you feel.
Yeah, it's like Ava Braun writing a book saying now we're hiding from American terrorist bombs raining down on us. A story of Berlin in 1945. Like, yeah, how terrible it must be to be cowering, but you're deep underground deep and nice and safe. They're not going to put a 2,000-pound bomb and blow up the whole area you're in, because they think.
Here's her fascist book in the chat.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Under the Rockets.
that really is what gives away like the dehumanization. It's like, they can say all the things they want about Arabs, like they can call them roaches and say that they're inherently violent and anti-Semitic, whatever. Like all of that's horrific. But then like admitting that it's actually terrifying and wrong to like put someone in that situation with bombs raining down on them, that is the biggest admission that they're like, oh, but it's different. It's me. It's me. Like,
right. It was cool when my country is dropping bombs and killing over 80,000 civilians and stuff.
I'm cool. I'm Israeli. We like to dance.
Oh, wait, hold on. There's a 1-star review here. Hold on. I want to read. Okay.
You want
to? There's a couple of reviews. Maybe you're thinking of purchasing this book. All right.
This book's a bit polarizing, it seems. So.
Oh wow, it's either 5 or 1.
This looks like AI art. Oh, that looks so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, she was in The Big Bang Theory, so I don't think she has much talent.
All right. Hold on.
Maybe another time we could sift through some of the better.
Wait, let me just see the 1-star. Go up about this. Someone wrote all right, let's see.
Unhelpful indoctrination. I had hoped this children's book was a new take on teaching the past, understanding the present, planning for the future, but it's not. In this book, the author attempts to present a narrative of Israel's past, present, and future through the lens of children's literature. However, what promises to be a fresh perspective on current events and historical education quickly devolves into a troubling example of indoctrination and revisionist history.
I can't believe that.
The author's decision to omit crucial historical events such as the British Mandate, the actions of groups like the Irgun and the Lehigh, and the massacres of Arab villages like Deir Yassin is deeply concerning. By glossing over these,
in there?
It wasn't in there for some reason.
Jeepers.
Glossing over these pivotal moments, the book fails to provide a balanced understanding of the complexity surrounding Israel's formation. Instead, it propagates a simplistic narrative that Israel's existence is solely justified by divine will, ignoring the realities of the suffering inflicted upon Palestinian communities in the process. This is actually very, very well written and thoughtful.
Actually, this is good. Yeah.
So I saw this book. I haven't read it. I was thinking of getting it for my nephew. Not the one we're talking about, a different one.
All right.
There's this other book about Palestine that I was thinking about getting for my nephew. He's a little young for it. But like it's from this publisher called Honest History. And it's called A Home to Many. It's about Palestine, and it covers like the history of Zionism too. This looks like, the art is much more like, it has much more character to it. It's clearly like at least making an attempt to do like a honest version of what happened. So if parents are looking for an alternative to Mayim Bialik's fucking genocide screed.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to buy it anyway. I don't know. This sounds kind of woke what you guys are talking about here. Okay. Israel is a peace loving state, and I think they deserve, they should get another $8 billion. I don't like North Carolina. I don't know. Sorry, North Carolina. Bombs aren't free. Holy mother of God. That is terrible. Yep.
Oh, this is a really interesting clip.
And this is what's his name again? Mark.
This is Matthew Miller.
Matthew Miller. Okay.
State Department spokesperson. This is some pretty crucial information here. It's a long clip.
Okay.
I'll cut it for the pod, but
okay. But I like to see what's going on in the world. All right, let's see what our fearless leader.
In Lebanon, we saw a similar pattern with regards to Rafah. First, the U.S. saying that they wouldn't want to see Israel conducting major operations. Then Israel going ahead with what they called limited operations, and then this continued tolerance of sort of day-to-day attacks. That has led to over 44% of all buildings in Rafah being either destroyed or damaged, according to satellite photos. Which is to say that there might not have been a major operation in Rafah, but there was cumulative attacks that led to a good deal of destruction. So how does this precedent of Rafah portend for Lebanon?
So every conflict is different, but if you look at what we continue to engage with Israel about when it comes to Lebanon is ensuring that they have the ability to attack terrorist targets, terrorist infrastructure, a terrorist organization, but ultimately we want to see a diplomatic resolution.
But was that the case with Rafah, for instance, not just Rafah?
Yeah, don't forget terrorist schools and terrorist hospitals
terrorist children and terrorist dream.
Hey, Matt,
terrorist nurseries.
What's a terrorist? Can you define it?
We've never wanted. Hold on. We've never wanted to see a diplomatic resolution with Hamas.
Well, okay.
What?
Well, what about this?
What?
Yeah. Do you want?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Do you want to rewind that again?
Yeah, did he just say the quiet part out loud?
We've never wanted. Hold on. We've never wanted to see a diplomatic resolution with Hamas.
We never wanted to see a diplomatic resolution with Hamas.
No, did he just like oops, sorry, I meant to say we did like.
What about the ceasefire?
We wanted to see a ceasefire, but we have always been committed. We have always been committed to the destruction of Hamas. We did want to see a ceasefire, but we always made clear that we wanted to see a different authority moving forward in governance of Gaza.
Okay, but so for instance, other U.S.
You smug fucking terrorist! Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh my God! He said
this guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was never any. So all of that working tirelessly for a ceasefire bullshit that we got from AFC and all the other traitors, it was a lie, and we knew it was a lie. We called it out then, and this is the State Department themselves.
Are you saying Joe Biden lied to us? Joe Biden was always. I kept hearing Joe Biden was very upset at what was going on. Every time a bunch of kids would be blown up, or a terrorist hospital would get blown up, I thought Joe Biden was always pissed off. Privately, of course, we never saw that in real life, but. Yeah.
They said that again recently. They were like,
was he upset?
Yeah, they were having a shouting match. He's livid. It was like, fuck off. Like, like honestly, why are we still playing this fucking game?
We know
be fascists, please. Just like be openly a fascist.
We know Reagan told Israel to knock it off, and they stepped back. Like the Democrats are running to the right of Reagan on this issue. It's truly astounding. And every time I point this out, I'm always told, well, at least they're better than Trump. It's like I really don't see how this could get any worse, to be perfectly honest.
Right.
Trump has repeatedly said we need to give Israel unlimited aid to do whatever they want. So
which is different. Yeah.
That's right. How is that different than what we're doing now?
Yeah, I've said that to people and it's because it's not just Reagan. It's like both Bushes were harder on Israel. Eisenhower, Truman, Truman's a Democrat, I guess, but yeah, it's mostly Republicans. And I pointed this out to someone, and they were like, "Well, then vote Republican if you love them." So I'm like, "You fucking asshole!
My God, you're missing the point.
Nothing. You can't talk like you cannot engage politics in any way besides Republicans are bad. It's insane."
I mean, bipartisan. There's pretty much a bipartisan consensus on supporting Israel. The only thing that differentiates the two parties is like empty rhetoric on the Democratic side. That's it.
Right.
Like,
that's pretty much with everything.
Like Chris said, Biden, AOC, and Harris, talk about the ceasefire and crap, but they're arming this to the teeth. The IDF is getting everything they want. It's a blank check. And
are there any sanctions on Israel for doing anything? Like they talk about sanctions, like what they did to Gaza, what they did to Lebanon, when they bombed Syria, when they murdered 20,000 children. Or any of that. No, but they're going to sanction Iran now. Oh, thank God, because of what they did. I'm sorry, Doug. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't think the Russian invasion of Ukraine is justified, but there's been like sanctions and all kinds of diplomatic rows over that, and I don't think it compares to what's going on in Gaza now. And I do think it's obviously an unjust war there as well.
Right.
And we hear about how Putin's like a fascist, the next Hitler, and all this stuff. And again, it doesn't compare to Benjamin Netanyahu and everything.
Yeah. Not even
it's
close.
Really rank hypocrisy.
Right. I mean, Putin didn't shut off the water, electricity, didn't bomb hospitals. I mean, if a hospital was bombed, you heard about it on the news for 2 weeks, which you should. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But like, once they bomb and kill civilians, that got on the news. Like, oh my God, they would make a press release. They're like, oh, he bombed like an apartment building and 8 people died. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, that's the good. I don't think that Russia is like making a point to bomb apartment buildings and schools and hospitals. Like maybe like I'm sure they've hit them. I'm sure a lot of people have died wrongfully, and that's not good, but like it's more of just like, yeah, this is a war. He shouldn't have invaded. But like, yeah, if the way that Israel is always like, yeah, this is war. This is what happens. It's like, no, like
October 7th, they deserve it.
So in the Russia thing and a lot of other places, this is completely different.
Yeah, it's insane. All right, Aaron, you got something on the Longshoremen? Is there? I know maybe. You got some
this was so in addition to the Boeing strike that we covered a little bit last week, Longshoremen. So this was 45,000 longshoremen as of October 1st went on strike. And quick one.
this was a fairly quick one, pretty straightforward. Longshoremen, some pretty important jobs that are shutting down a bunch of ports.
We're going to keep this thing going every day, in and out. We're going to be on the news. We're going to win this thing. Trust me.
Yeah.
We can't survive too long, and we're going to get what the we deserve. Believe me. And God bless all of you for being here.
Hell yeah. Okay. That's kind of unionship I like to see.
All right.
Is that kind of passion. So in typical American news this week is, well, how is this going to let me down? Oh, right.
Oh,
so
there we go. So
these guys had the power to shut down every port on the East Coast, and they did. And this shit, like these strikes don't last very long when you actually put your money where your mouth is and you shut shit down. And this is where they really pissed me off this week. Again, a full support to these guys, but they decided to make an exception for military aid leaving the country, and like that was the absolute dumbest, wrong-headed move. They could have ended the war It completely disabled Israel's capacity to do imperialism by solidifying and working with the Boeing striking workers and the Palestinian movement. This could have been so friggin' strong, and we could have ended Israel in like a week.
Yeah, if you looked at the Longshoremen website, the ILA, they were talking about I love America. And it's very, nationalist, chauvinist again. And I agree with you. We obviously should support the strike, but no, military hardware should be, that shouldn't be shipped. And a lot of unions elsewhere in like Spain, Italy, Greece, they refuse to ship like weapons to Israel. Their unions just won't do it. And that's like the kind of solidarity you need. Otherwise, if you have that potential power to shut down the ports, then shut down the ports. Don't let the war machine work.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
and the Longshoremen also got a huge raise. I mean, they got a tentative agreement. They got a 66% raise.
Silver lining. It's a tentative agreement, so they have to vote on it to agree to it. But yeah, it was like a 62% or 66% pay raise, which is not nothing. So
and Blue MAGA lost their fucking mind over this shit.
That was
too.
So yeah. Do you have any
Blue MAGA? There's a lot, but they were like, oh, this guy, because here's a photo with Trump. Oh, he's just doing this to hurt Biden. Like, the 45,000 people are all out on strike just because one person, the president, said, he snapped his fingers and said, we're going on strike. Like, no, they want job security. They shipping containers are the most profitable they've been since 1957. They're making, between the last 3 years, they've made over $400 to $600 billion in profit. They want a share of the money they're producing and moving all the shit for. But Blue MAGA is just nuts. Like all the vicious anti-union crap they're sharing from the New York Post all the time. Like I said, Blue MAGA does not support, like they're going further and further right where they think, oh, well, they're only doing it to hurt Biden. No idea. Like these people work in offices, nothing against office workers who work in class too, but these people who don't work physical labor jobs think they know better and they think everything's a conspiracy. This is Blue MAGA, and it's just insane hearing that.
Democrat operatives are just not on our side. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
They like when unions like mobilize to like phone bank or give them money, but they haven't done anything for the labor movement since like ever.
Yeah.
Because they're a bourgeois party serving bourgeois interests.
And also, Doug, you said something about the anti-communist purges out of the major labor movements, and I guess this is sort of like the effect of that we're seeing now.
Yeah, I mean, back in the 40s and 50s, there were like purges as part of like ramping up the Cold War under, Truman, under McCarthy. Where just anyone who was a suspected leftist was kicked out. And like you couldn't be in like the AFL-CIO unions if you were a member of the Communist Party.
Yeah, take a loyalty
I think that
pledge
was eventually
as well.
That particular clause was revealed. Not that the Communist Party really matters at all, but unions in America are like very business oriented, very much. They haven't pushed for like political independence. And there was a reason during like the 50s and 60s, the AFL-CIO was known as the AFL-CIA because they were helping to advance, U.S. imperialist interests in Latin America with like these anti-communist unions and stuff. And we're still paying the price for unions that, don't have like class struggle leadership. And again, I have a lot of issues with the Communist Party of the 40s and 50s, but, they don't even have like a nominal commitment to socialism or anything. It's just, I know there are like pockets of, radicals here and there, but you don't have like political education. And the fact that, labor is like, by and large, has been like one of the labor unions have been so consistently pro-democrat. Just shows like the low level of class consciousness, certainly among its leadership.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, and certainly among workers, like I think that's it's a conscious effort on the ruling class's part to we went from 33% unionized workforce in this country to 10 or whatever it is now.
8,
but like
but
it's people are well trained, like they don't understand at all like why you would talk to them about starting a union. I did just want to add, like this like really reveals another layer of how just how separated liberals are from us, because I feel like a lot of times I think liberals just think that socialists or leftists are just liberal but more, and we're just like not satisfied with like incremental steps towards what we want. And it's like, no man, like you're not going the direction I want at all. And it's really revealed when like they always expect us to come along for the ride that they're driving, but then when we want to like shut down the fucking ports to stop a war and stop corporate gouging of their workers, then it's that this is completely unacceptable. So it's like
you're trying to help Trump. That's what you're trying to. You're going to hurt the economy, like, right, guys, and Wall Street profits are more important. Don't you know that?
It's like, all right, do you see, guys, how we're not the same? Like, you see now how it's not super attractive for us to vote for Kamala Harris. Like,
right. Seeing Blue MAGA in action over these comments was just infuriating. I couldn't tell if they were Republicans or like Democrat. Like, it's the same shit now. That's the crazy thing. But oh boy. So speaking of crazy shit that doesn't make any sense, Jackson Hinkle, friend of the not a friend of the show, but someone who's been brought up, someone who if you heard him in the intro, now he thinks we run the world and we are the most evil, despicable people. Well, guess who else he doesn't like? You'll never guess. But Aaron,
I mean, you got something. Oh God! He regularly says that Trotskyists run the world. We know he's an anti-Semite. He posts this weird AI generated graphic of Jews dancing while the Twin Towers are burning. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
Yeah, I definitely remember that
bizarre.
Image.
So yeah, he regularly posts this shit, and today or yesterday, he writes, "Never underestimate the evil lengths they will go. After all, they killed Jesus."
Oh my God. This is anti-Italian discrimination right here. And I knew the son of a bitch was going to do it. He versus the Jews, then it's the Italians. Now I feel attacked, and Joe does too.
Yeah,
I wanted to apologize.
Credit.
Pontius Pilate was a great man who had a tough job to do. And this fucking guy who claims to be an American great communist leader attacks our people. Well, I, for one, hate that. So I don't know how dare he attack the Romans.
Pontius Pilate had to make some tough decisions. And I think he had to kill Jesus in order to save the rest of us.
That's it. Wait, was he talking about somebody else, you think, too? I don't know. What else besides
this is clearly like more of that same crap.
It's also funny to see like the ACP members defending it.
Oh my God! So
what
they have been scrambling for damage control. It's so fucking funny.
Okay,
Johnny Warlord.
I see. Red Operative Johnny. Okay,
he blocked me, so I actually had to go get a screen cap of this.
Okay,
because he's a fucking coward and a moron.
Oh boy, I see the word JQ. Well, we're already off to a bad start, aren't we? Okay. Oh Lordy,
what is JQ? I don't know what that is.
The Jewish question.
I see. Okay. So,
which is, I think, that what the Nazis used as a thing, and all like Nick Fuentes and all those scumbag neo-fascists do. So
ACP is in full-on damage control again. That seems to be what they do.
Oh boy!
To their credit, they also announced that they are sending some people down to the affected regions from the hurricane. ACP is deploying people.
I doubt they're sending
on the ground.
I doubt they are too.
Show me some photos, dude.
They also announced a sizable donation to hurricane relief efforts of $650.
Oh, I made a sizable donation too, Aaron. I just say it.
$650 American dollars from
Kamala Harris beat him. Look at that. All right.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Now, Red Operative Johnny.
Okay.
All right.
So
the ACP clowns are defending him, saying Jackson was talking about the trend of criminals throughout history, not Jews. We all know Jackson constantly fights against the JQ,
fuck off.
and wingnats hate him for it. Yes,
wingnat? What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know what a wingnat is.
Kids, help us out.
Yes, you can say the tweet was poorly worded. However, what he meant to say is still correct. Let's drop it. And then later, he concludes the tweet with blocking every leftist who feels the need to open their mouth. We don't need them to keep the flame of this pointless discourse going and try to divide the party. The Khan has spoken. The matter is settled.
The Khan
refers
to
Khan refers to Haas. So Haas, head of the party, posted in his Discord.
These psychos call Haas a moron. I might add. The Khan.
Yeah,
he's a Mongol. That's right. He's a Mongol. That's right. He said that. Okay, that's right. We should end the show with that quote of his.
Okay, so Dark Haas. Thank God he cleared this up in their Discord. He writes, "Let's shut down any pointless discourse. Our position has not changed regarding the question if someone has erred or not. It is internal party business. Trust the party is always right. Do not worry about
Jesus. Just gonna come."
The party that has existed of 6 people for 45 minutes is always right. Okay. All right.
They don't even state what their position is. Like, what is the position?
No shit.
And how is this contradicted?
Anti-Semite. What the fuck?
Eddie Liger shares he likes all those Nazi posts and everything.
What the fuck?
And how many times does Haas refer to globalists and everything? We know what that's a code word for.
Oh, and they all say Trotskyists. That the world is run by Trotskyists, right? That's the gag. That's the gag. And
his finger slipped, and he liked all that Nazi post.
I mean, it's literal National Socialism with these people.
Oh my God, this is even stupider than I thought.
It gets funnier. So again, this is
oh my
Haas.
God, this gets stupider. Yeah,
this is Haas twisting Jackson Hinkle's words here. So
this is stupid. Okay,
do not allow the enemy to try and divide us at this time. Whether someone has made a mistake isn't relevant. Mistakes can be sorted out. I know Jackson personally. He is not anti-Semitic to the slightest. He has personally told me that what he meant was not a single racial or religious group, but the general forces.
Yes, he did.
The general forces of injustice throughout the entire history of
who
mankind.
Killed Jesus then? Why doesn't Jackson Hinkle
clear
that up real quick?
Yeah,
like he did type it out and press enter.
The oldest form of anti-Semitism is the Jews killed Jesus.
No shit.
It's like Jews would call Christ killers and all this crap.
Right. Why not just put triple parentheses and be honest? Like, you fucking phony bastard. Like,
yeah, and also counterpoint. The fucking 9/11 picture.
That's another anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that Israel or the Jews caused 9/11.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, it goes on. The same ones who killed Che Guevara, the tyrants and oppressors of the world in general, across all societies and civilizations, not just Jewish people. Still,
what did Bolivia do with this? Bolivia killed Che Guevara, so now I guess the Jews in Bolivia killed Jesus. Everybody, you heard it here first from the dumbest shit I've heard in my
CIA agents. So did the CIA kill Jesus?
Oh my God, he could be right.
This might be next level. They may be playing their 64th dimensional chess or something. No, they're not. They're just stupid.
Still, I really do not understand how much in bad taste it appears, but alas, let us get our priorities in order. War is coming. We must stand united. If someone made a bad comment, you must ignore it. What matters is how we act. Yeah, no, don't hold your own
comments.
Don't hold your membership accountable in any way.
Wait,
they are literally like what they are what we're told North Korea is. Like this is how we're told that Kim Jong-un operates.
Oh my God.
They just do it. Like,
ignore what he said. Like, if someone said, basically, let's say something stupid. Like, pretend it said, after all, they killed Jesus. I say something stupid. You don't ignore it. You actually 25,000 likes. God, Elon Musk loves this shit too. But I mean, this guy goes on Alex Jones for a reason.
Also,
Alex Jones always has anti-Semitic people come on, and he has Nazis come on too.
So Haas, earlier this week, he was in Russia and he's being interviewed by one of the leading Nazbols.
Oh, that's right. I saw that. Yeah.
So
really?
It's like they're like checking all like these right-wing boxes all the time.
If the interviews weren't so boring, we could totally cover them on the pod. But God damn, they're excruciating.
Yeah, they're so stupid.
Yeah,
but can you imagine? Like, How much you want to bet there are just like thousands of Nazis in their comments being like, yes, brother.
Finally.
That's totally like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Keep going. I'm just scrolling now.
No, there's just the
Nigerians
comment
stand
section
with
is,
Israel.
wait, Jews didn't kill Jesus? Okay. Lawmakers have broadened the definition of okay. What? Jews didn't kill
House of
Jesus.
Representatives have voted that Jews did not kill Jesus. This is 2nd of
what's
May,
in the
2024. I don't know.
I don't think it is.
I don't.
You guys are
okay.
Italian Catholics. You should have read the Bible.
Yeah, right.
We went to CCD. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't finish it.
And then there's plenty
Muslims,
of Nazis. There's plenty of Nazis in the comments.
Oh wow!
Being like,
click
yes,
on that guy. Wait, click on his thing. I wonder what he says. Let's just see. King,
no
King Mososert Anon on Twitter, independent journalist. He's a journalist. Okay, yeah.
Human rights
advantage.
advocate. Good for him.
Okay, there we go.
Band Gnosis on Twitter says more of this, bro. Yes, F the Jews. He writes.
Yep. And he wrote out the word. Yeah, that's
so look at his biography on Twitter. He says most censored Anon on Twitter, independent journalist, human rights advocate.
There we go. Except for the Jews, which is just amazing. So, oh boy, him and Jack. Oh wow, yeah.
So Jackson Hinkle hangs out with Jordan Peterson,
famously a fan of communism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway,
Says the Bolsheviks.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Really, really great.
That's good. Good patriotic socialism. There
Anyway,
we go. They are Nazis.
Like I said at the beginning, I'm trying to get more away from covering those guys, even though that's sort of what we founded our podcast on. Was
that is one person who made that comment, who doesn't think, who only thought we're okay. We're not going for the 3-star review people. The 5-star people think we're great talking about this dipshit. All right, for God's sakes, if he stopped calling himself a communist, we'll stop talking about him. That's our deal. All right. Once he just joins a National Socialist,
they need to just be open about it and join the NSDAP or something.
Right, or form the KKK or whatever you want to call it. Fine, but please just fuck off. Stop using our name, and we'll stop. How's that? Deal? Deal.
Stop using our word. That's not your word.
Yeah. Please, you never read a word of Marx at all. All right, good God. Maybe Proudhon to be more.
It's not like he said that communists want to defend private property.
Oh my God!
Or the new,
the brains over at Midwestern Marx were doing like doing a whole junket and like blitz on justifying why communists are not in favor of abolishing private property.
I saw that, and they were quoting from the manifesto, except the next sentence that says our program can be summed up as abolish private property.
Well, that was written by a Jewish person, so we're going to ignore that. All right, but we got a new one.
Anyway, I think that about wraps it up for this week. That's all I had to say. So be on the lookout for what's his name, Carlos Garrido, his book on American communism. If we get enough Patreons, if we get to 20 Patreons, we're going to force Doug to read that book and.
Yeah.
There we go.
I've read worse, but not by much.
You've read the Turner Diaries. That's
I actually haven't read that. I've read Mein Kampf, but I haven't read the Turner.
Oh, okay. Well, you might give him a run for the money of it, but oh my God, they wrote a book.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it's called Why We Need American Communism by Carlos L. Garrido.
Can we get a free copy? If you want to give us a free copy somehow,
I don't want them to have my address.
I don't want to have them have my money. Oh my God.
Yeah, let's set a goal right now. If we get to 20 patrons, we'll make Doug read this book.
There we go. It'll be great.
And then do a review on it. Sorry to put you on the spot, Doug. I just thought it'd be really fun.
And I'll pay for the lobotomy after. That's on me. So it's kind of like you'll erase itself.
Just take me out for pizza sometime, and we'll be fine.
That's fine. I'll just knock you out.
Hey, do you get
lobotomy?
Do you guys have Boston pizza down there, or is it just regular pizza?
I've been to Boston Pizza in Ontario. Let me tell you about Boston Pizza. That is not Boston Pizza. We don't like hockey that much, and that is not Boston Pizza. You have some friendly people who work at the one I went to.
It should be illegal.
Wonderful people. I went there. There's a photo of me giving a thumbs down in front of Boston. I'll find it for you sometime. Nice, wonderful people who work there. Nothing against the people. Stop using our goddamn name. You're the Jackson Hinkle of Boston Pizza. All right. I've had Boston Pizza. I love Boston Pizza. I work with Boston Pizza. You, sir, are no Boston Pizza. There.
Wow. Of all the shit we covered tonight, that's the one that triggered Chris the most.
Yeah.
It wasn't the bombing or the drowning. It was you attacking.
Pizza and Dunkin' Donuts.
There you go. I know. There, I could.
What designates Boston pizza? I don't know if I could.
It's a chain. It's a chain of mediocre restaurants up here. I don't know.
Is it supposed to replicate like Boston style pizza or something?
And also they have memorabilia that would make you think you're in Boston. Like, okay, Ray Bork is like a famous
Boston.
It
There's
is.
no smoking allowed, so you can't have guys talking about the Pats game for 3 hours with 3 cigarettes in their fucking mouths.
We are very anti-smoking in the state, unfortunately. It's not like the 90s. I mean, good God, there was ashtrays everywhere. But no, the thing with Boston pizza is like, y'all think we love hockey. We don't. You know, there are definitely some Bruins fans, and Ray Bork was definitely from Canada. I know you think Ray Bork, he's good, or Cam Neely, whoever it was, but way too much emphasis on hockey. This is the Canadian version of in Boston, and I'm insulted. That's it.
There's also a donut. Our Tim Hortons sells a donut called Boston Cream. Did you try that?
Oh
no, I don't actually like Boston Cream. I know. Well, it's weird. I don't care.
Wow,
for it.
I love that.
I like every other donut except that.
There was
we should come to Canada and do a live show sometime.
There was a Vancouver Boston Stanley Cup game at one point, and I don't think we've ever forgiven you guys for beating us.
What's Vancouver? I never heard of it. What's that? Is that we've heard the Canadians that there are some is that Vancouver, the Canadians, the hockey team?
Yes. No, the Canadians are in Montreal.
Oh, okay. See, I no idea.
Vancouver Canucks, right?
Is that what it is? Yeah, that's Vancouver Canucks.
They're both just like different words for Canadian.
I know. Why does one guy get to hog the team, like the country name? That's weird. But anyway, I don't like hockey that much. Nothing against it. But
anyway, come find us on Patreon. Come find us on all major social media platforms except X.
Yes.
We are not on there.
No,
explicitly. Although I think I might post a link to the pod soon on X.
That'd be great. Maybe we get some
happens.
Traffic that way. All right, that sounds great.
Okay, I think that's about it for this week. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you everyone for being here. We'll see you around next week, and keep up the fight, keep up the struggle, and see y'all then.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna roam no more. Well, Captain, I don't want to kill another man. He ain't done nothing to me. He ain't done nothing to me. Ain't gonna roam no more. Well, son, just do your duty.